guys, and welcome to my video. Today's video is very different to what my blog is about. My blog is about fashion, food and lifestyle and everything sparkly and fun. But I thought that today's video was something I needed to do, especially since it's something that I wanted to do for a very long time. I just didn't really know how to get started. So as you can see, today's video is about something called fibromyalgia, which is a musculoskeletal disease that happens in your muscles, and your tendons and your joints. So obviously I'm making the video because I suffer with this disorder, and I have had it for, I think it's been going on to 6 years now, which is crazy. Hence the fact that I really wanted to do this video and talk to you all about it, because it's something that's very close to my heart, and I find that there are so many people who are getting diagnosed with this disorder every day, and they don't really know what to turn to, especially because a lot of people think that it's something that's all in your head, and it's really not. So I got diagnosed, I think, in 2010. Yeah, 2010. And I was in grade 11 in high school, and I woke up one morning and my arm was so sore. I couldn't move it. I can actually still remember how sore it was. So I went to school and I couldn't use it at all. And after a week, my arm was still so sore that my mom actually bandaged it up for me, and I went to school with my arm in this homemade sling. And during that week, one of my teachers told me that he thinks I should really get it checked out by a doctor, just to be safe, because you never know what it is. It didn't really scare me. I think it was more concern, which I'm so happy he done. And I told my mom that my teacher said I should honestly just have it checked out, and it was something very different, which made it easier to kind of say like, okay, we need to go and have it checked out, because she's never experienced this before, and this pain is so weird. It felt like a truck drove over my arm, and I still feel like that's the best way to explain it. So we made an appointment at the hospital, and I went in and I had blood tests after blood tests and ECG monitors on me, x-rays of my entire body, and even more blood tests. And after about, I think it was probably 3 months, I had to go back in for probably the 7th time. And I was sitting in the room, in this examining room, and 7 student doctors came in with this really horrible doctor, and she started poking and prodding on my hands. So she started pressing all of these points all over my hand, all over my arm, my shoulders, my neck, my lower back, upper back, my hips, my thighs and my feet. And I think only 2 of those points didn't hurt. I wanted to scream and cry every time she just touched one. And according to her, that diagnosis for that was that I had fibromyalgia. So fibromyalgia is basically when you have tender spots in your body and it feels inflamed and it feels sore, but you don't see anything. There is no redness, there is hardly any swelling, and blood tests come out normal, which makes it very confusing. And when I got it, which was, as I mentioned, in 2010, a lot of people believed that it was something that was in my head. So I mean, I was in high school, and high school kids are mean. And I had the worst experience of people telling me, oh, you're just imagining, and you think you're so cool to bring your laptop to school because you think you can't write, and we must write, and you're sitting with your laptop. And every time I had to hear comments like that, I wanted to cry, because, I mean, I wanted to be like everyone else in my class. I wanted to write in my book, and I wanted to be able to walk to my classes and sit down for the whole hour instead of having to get up and stand outside and stretch my legs and not know what the hell was going on with me. So that was really difficult, but I managed to get through it. So one thing that I learned with fibromyalgia, amongst many, is that you can't really do things for too long, and that happens to me a lot. So if I'm sitting, I can't sit for very long, I can't stand for very long, can't walk, can't run, I can hardly write. When I do write, it's for about like 3 minutes, which is amazing, because I could hardly even lift up a pen when I got diagnosed, because it was so sore that lifting up the pen felt like my entire arm was just going lame. So naturally, getting diagnosed with it meant that I had to go on really horrible medication. And I was on Stemodol painkillers, as well as another blue little tablet called amitriptyline, and it was the worst decision I ever made in my life. I was sick all the time. I was diagnosed to take... Oh my god, can you hear that? Sorry. I was diagnosed to take 6 Stemodol tablets thrice a day, and then an amitriptyline tablet at night, which was the worst. It was so tiny, but it was dry mouth, insomnia. It was the worst thing ever. And after 2 years, I decided that I really don't want to be on this medication anymore, and I contacted my doctors and my pharmacist, and I went to them and I said, look, I've had this for 2 years now. I really don't want to be dependent on tablets. And how do I get off this Stemodol? How do I get off it? How do I wean myself off it and get something more natural? And they looked at me and they laughed in my face. And the first time it happened, I was so shocked. I think it was one of my doctors. I just stared at him. I was like, why are you laughing? And he said, oh, you will never get off that tablet. Went to another doctor. She said the exact same thing. She was like smirking. She was like, oh, you are so crazy to think you can get off that tablet. And I went to my pharmacist, who did the exact same thing. And finally I went to another doctor who said it was possible, and I just have to do it quite slowly. And I was quite adamant to do it, but I really didn't know how. So when I did do it, the next day I was like a drug addict. I was shaking, I was itching, I was hungry, I was irritable, and I felt like I just didn't know what was going on around me. I was like just looking everywhere like crazy. And what made it worse that I was at campus that day, so it was really bad. And then I kind of gave up. I thought like, okay, I can't do this, it's really difficult. And about a week or two later, I was walking on campus, and one of my friends who was in crutches at the time walked past me, and I asked him, look, I don't mean to be funny, but why are you on crutches? And he said no, like he had arthritis and whatever, and it was controllable, but the tablet he was on, which was Stemodol, gave him kidney failure. And that is when I thought, hell no, I'm not doing this. I immediately booked myself in with the acupuncturist and a cupping specialist, and I went the whole Chinese medicine thing. And we have a place here called Tib, which is fantastic. They do massage therapy and all natural medication. So I went to them, and within about 3 weeks I was completely off Stemodol, and I have never taken another one again, which I'm so happy about. But that doesn't mean that I don't get pain. So I'm in pain every single day of my life. I wake up with pain. If I don't wake up with pain, I feel like I'm dead. I feel like, what is going on? And it's crazy. So, see, another thing about fibromyalgia is that you forget what you're saying mid-sentence. Something called fibrofog. I forget with things, I'll forget what I was talking about. And I don't remember what I was talking about. Let me look at my notes. Yes. So it was the pain management. And I went for cupping, and I went for acupuncture, which was horrible. I couldn't handle having needles in me. But cupping worked so well. And it hurt the first 2 times. I was so sore. And sometimes when I even go now again, it still hurts, but not as bad. It's like a good pain, like that relief where you can actually just feel the tension just washing out of your body. But it hurts. But it's good. So anyway, that helps. And I take turmeric capsules, which I find at Dischem, which is a combination of turmeric and cayenne pepper. But I also get them at Tib. So Tib has this whole range of products with like Rumelayan and liver tib and stress away, and all of these things are natural, which makes them amazing. And all of them really help me. I don't take as many now. I mean, I was on like 16 a day. That was so bad. So now I just take omega tablets, and I take my cayenne pepper tablets, and that seems to be helping a lot. So there are so many symptoms of fibromyalgia, and the last time I checked, there was a list of about 64 of them, and that is just overwhelmingly crazy. And the few that I can remember right now is restless leg syndrome, IBS, um, brain fog, constant pain, headaches, migraines, inflammation, um, insomnia, problems eating, skin rashes, skin sensitivity. For me, I had almost all of those things all at the same time. And my worst was about 2 years ago, when every single day I had that. And I woke up in the morning and I couldn't get out of bed. I had to wait like a few minutes, stretch one finger and the next finger, and work my way down my entire body until I could actually put my feet on the floor. When I done that, I had to stand up, hold onto my bed, get my teeth brushed, which took like anywhere between 7 to 10 minutes, possibly even longer, just to do that, and wash my face and then get dressed. And for me, that was something really painful, literally and figuratively, because I mean, I was 20 years old, even younger when I got diagnosed. But I had to struggle through something that someone so much older was going through, and that was horrible. But it was also something that was extremely positive, and it really helped me get through it, because I felt like, okay, I managed to get out of bed. That is amazing. It could have been worse. I could have been flat on my back. And even if it took me an hour to get dressed, I'd be like, it could have been 5 hours. I could have actually still been flat in bed, or even worse, laying on the floor, not being able to get up. And some people had it that bad. Some people still have it that bad, which is basically part of the fact why I'm making this video, is so that I can reach out to my friends and family who all have fibromyalgia and who are suffering through it, or know someone who are suffering through it. I mean, it's really not something easy to talk about, and a lot of people don't really know what to say when they know that they have fibromyalgia, because there is so much negativity surrounding it. And I just wanted to come and bring my little ray of positivity and kind of help all of you to see how I got through it, how I'm getting through it, moment by moment, not even day by day, because moment by moment is what you have to aim for and what I live by. Because you don't know what's going to happen the next moment. I might have this constant inflammation in my entire right side of my body, and it will be so sore that I won't be able to even touch my arm. So you don't know what's going to happen. And for me to be positive has been such an amazing blessing, and it's been really, it's been something that helped a lot, and something that's still helping. And I honestly just hope that all of you can feel that, and all of you know that having fibromyalgia is not something that is horrible. It's not something that sucks. It is a lesson. When I got it, I was so upset. I didn't know what was going on. And I was always thinking, why the hell did this happen to me? I was doing the right thing. I was praying, I was eating properly, I was exercising, I was being a good person. But I still got this. And I felt like there were so many other people worse than me who just could run and could walk and do the things I couldn't do. And that same teacher who told me to go and have it checked out was talking to me one day after I had to type my exam out, walk to the computer lab, print it while everybody else was writing, and he told me that I shouldn't look at it as something that has taken over my body. It is something that is just there and is a guest and is just there to stay, and how you deal with your guests is all up to you. If you're going to deal with your guests with irritability and frustration and be like, get the hell out, then it's not going to be good to you. It's going to fight you back. It's going to stab you. It's going to hurt you. And that's not the way it should be. He also said that I got it for a reason, and maybe it was a sign that I should stop and smell the roses and just enjoy life, which is something that I have been doing a lot. And I'm so thankful for that. So, thank you, Mr. Ford. The next thing that fibromyalgia sufferers are told a lot to do is exercise. And that is not easy. Doctors like to say, oh, you should exercise. You should go home and do this and work out for an hour and swim and whatever. And yeah, exercise helps. It really does. But it's not easy. Exercise, it really sucks on its own for people who don't like exercising. I mean, it's like, oh, you have to get up and exercise. and just like make yourself tired. But the way you feel afterwards is amazing, and it's just this rush of endorphins. But with people with fibromyalgia, exercising is not that easy. It is physical pain. You feel broken and torn. Doing a simple crunch sometimes can leave you feeling like your stomach is broken into two and your arms are falling off, and you'll even get bruises doing a simple crunch. It's not easy, and especially since the fact that most of us can hardly walk sometimes, never mind run. How are we supposed to keep active and energized? And I struggled a lot with that because I was always someone who was active. I used to play squash all the time at school. And I remember that when I got diagnosed, I could hardly lift up my racket. I literally used to pick it up and my arm used to just flop down again, and it used to turn red and swell up, and my fingers would swell up, and I just had to stop playing. And that is something that would totally put you off your course to exercise, because it means like you can't even do that. So what are you doing? Why are you putting yourself through more pain? But I find that this may seem like it's something easy for me to say because I'm only 22, and being fit and healthy should be something easy for me. And a lot of people who have fibromyalgia are so much more older than me. A lot of my friends who have fibromyalgia are 50 plus, and for them exercising is not even, I mean, for me it's not easy, imagine for someone else. But I mean, even if you're sitting and you're doing this 10 times, it might not seem like much, and the next day your arm will be lame, even if you've done it for 10 times. But you slowly start to build yourself up and get the confidence to walk, even if it means just walking to the end of your room and walking back to your bed. Fine, do what you need to do, just build it up slowly and you will feel better. It really does help. I cannot really stress it enough, and I don't know how I can prove it to you guys, but it really, really helps, and it made a big difference to me. Granted, when I do exercise, I am in pain for the next 2 days, but it doesn't stop me because I know that my muscles are so much more relaxed and I'm not that inflamed. And after that 2 days, that storm is going to pass and I'm going to feel fantastic for the next week. So I don't really want to make this video too long. I know that it can be a bit overwhelming, but I'm thinking of doing a second series, so let me know if you want that. I can answer any questions that you like, anything about my experience with fibromyalgia, but initially this video was just to share my story and show that there is a way out. There is things you can do to make it better and make it easier. And the main thing you have to take away from it is to be positive. Being negative is not going to help. I mean, what are you going to achieve by being negative? You're going to stay in bed all day, you're going to cry your eyes out, and the next thing you know, it's the next morning again and you wasted a completely beautiful day. So even if you are feeling sore and tired and completely overwhelmed and nobody understands what you're going through, then know that you have the power to make yourself feel better, emotionally and mentally. Might not be physically, might not be immediately, but when you start accepting that you have something like fibromyalgia, it starts getting easier for you. And in that way, you get to talk to more people. Because, I mean, you are not no one in my family believed me. None of my close family and friends believed that I had fibromyalgia, which sucked. And to live with that for a few years was so horrible. But I honestly have no idea how I got through it. I think it's just knowing that I know it's not in my head, and I know that I really am feeling pain. And I really want all of you who are suffering through this to know that there is someone you can talk to. You can leave a comment on this video and I will reply to you. And there are support groups everywhere. If you Google, if you search fibromyalgia on Facebook, you'll find 150,000 of Facebook support groups and just stuff that are close to you and people who all are going through the same thing. And you'll find your community, you'll find your people who understand what you're feeling, who are there to help you. But you'll also find the people who have fibromyalgia and who hate their lives, who want to put an end to their lives and who don't want to see the good in anything. And that is not the way that you should be. You should try to be positive. It is a life-changing disorder. I understand that, and I have it as well. But the moment you let it control you is when you lose control of your own life. And that is when all the negativity and all the issues start arising and you feel more and more in pain. So try to smile. Even if you feel like crying, smile through the tears, and I promise you that your pain will get easier. Thank you for watching.